dealer of ideas. So I feel like I am about to enter a really, really creative period. And in the last video, I mentioned that I've really, really reduced and may be soon pretty much close to eliminating things that I need to worry about other than working on my blogs. Um, there will always be like small things that'll crop up, but actually on that note, I'm really trying to streamline my life sustaining processes, and just sort of put extra time in now in order to ensure that any future like life sustaining processes will be as efficient as possible. Um, as an example, extreme example, I'm going to look into getting a catheter that I can just wear at all times. And also things like for my weed, like rather than having to grind it up, like every time I want to do a new batch, not only am I going to just pre-grind a bunch of weed, I'm also going to put it in like a sort of like those sort of squeezy containers like you could squeeze like mustard out of or something. That way I can just squeeze my pre-ground weed into the chamber of my little pipe. Because that's a weed also is life-sustaining process thing also too. I'm going to get a utility belt where on one side I'll have things like tissues, allergy pills, sunblock, hand sanitizer, and on the other side, oh, and I'll also have a I'll have either I'll have a water bottle in the utility belt, or I'll have like a Camelback sort of thing. Or if I'm wearing a backpack, I can just have the water in the backpack. But also, rather than just like a normal size water bottle, I want to have like a couple liters in my backpack. And I'm totally okay with carrying the extra weight because it means that I will less often need to take the time to go and find somewhere to fill it up, because it's not the filling up that takes time, it's the finding somewhere to fill it up. So the less times I need to find somewhere to fill it up, the less time I'm spending on a life-sustaining process. And my utility belt also will not only have those sorts of life-sustaining things, it'll also have creativity unleashing things, because basically what I'm trying to do, minimize the amount of time that I'm not spending on the learn, create, communicate process. So that's this utility belt will be an extension of myself, just like it'll be technology. So I'm really trying to use technology to help me get to self-actualization. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, right? And so like utility belt, like it's going to be an extension of me. It's going to be a technology. It's going to be a complex technology because it has so many different things that is going to be in it, all of those different things I mentioned. Oh, and by creativity unleashing things, I mean like notepad, phone, pencil. That's most. Oh, and then also, of course, the recording equipment. So the recorder, video recorder, audio recorder. Those are extending and unleashing technologies. And on that note, like I was thinking about how my idea of recording all of my audio and video input and having it stored in the cloud, like that literally, okay, our brain doesn't store all of the video input from a certain situation. It's very good at storing the relevant things, the significant and meaningful things. It's very good at that, but it doesn't store everything. And that's simply because of the limited space of the human skull. There's just not enough matter in the way that the brain is organized in order for it to hold like the equivalent to, you know, high quality video footage 24/7. It just doesn't have that much storage. But like the cloud does. So by me putting all that data in the cloud and having it accessible by me, it literally, it like just becomes like an extension of myself. It like becomes an extension of my mental recording and storage and therefore capabilities, and it just makes me more powerful, right? So yes, I would definitely say that I am trying to become more powerful. Also, I have a really great idea of having a mobile sort of work surface. So I'm talking about like a small tray that would like be like here, and it would have like straps to my shoulders and around my body, so that it would just be like this tray sitting, and I could like literally walk, and there'd be this tray here, and then I could put um a tablet and a keyboard or a laptop on this tray. That way, when I'm standing in line for somewhere, for example, I just I just unfold the tray, put the laptop on it, can start doing work. And if I also get mobile Wi-Fi, which is super high on my priority list, if I also get mobile Wi-Fi, then it will be a technology that will both make me more powerful and unleash my creativity. This idea of this like mobile workstation, I mean, by this technology in this case. Okay, so now, so when I started this video, I say I feel like I'm about to enter a very creative period, and so two reasons, because I'm reducing. One reason is because I'm reducing the time that I need to spend on non-creative things, and then the other is because I am creating a technological system around me to help me unleash my creativity. So the next thing that I need is a space, right? So I can't be constantly, so I need that my space to have certain characteristics. I need to feel comfortable in it. I need enough physical room, and it needs good internet. Those are major ones. But so I can't like waste time on continuing to like find a new place to do my work every time I want to do my work. That takes up too much headspace. So one place that I do stuff in sometimes is my car, because if I'm at the grocery store right now and I want to record a video, I just come out to my car and do it. But like that's somewhat limited. And one space that I definitely have that I've talked about before is Noisebridge. There's a few. It's fantastic as far as like once I get into the space itself, but there's a few issues surrounding that, which is that it's in San Francisco, and sometimes I want to be, and sometimes I need to be more in the peninsula or Silicon Valley, and also the parking situation during the day is really shitty. At night it's fine, but during the day you either got to pay a whole bunch and like need to move your car after 2 hours, or you have to like spend 15 minutes in order to find a place that's 15 minutes away. So for those, oh, and also I don't have 24-hour access to Noisebridge. I don't have those privileges yet. I can get them through a consensus process, which might take a few weeks, but as of right now, and I can get it for sure, but it just might take a few weeks. As of right now, I don't have that access. So I also need to work on finding a space, and and the other feature of my space. So I guess I mentioned like the minimal things that the space would have earlier, and I guess maybe it would be helpful if I described what the ideal space would be like. So the ideal creative space for me would be a space where, like, when I walk in, I just feel good, like maybe sort of like calm or relaxed. And it would have to be like just something that's reflective of, myself. Like if it was like Japanese style, like that would be cool. Like that would probably do it. Or if it's just like really, and it's not about how clean or conventionally beautiful it is, right? It just has to like sort of jive like with me. And then like fast Wi-Fi, crucial, bathroom, water, and then the two other things that my ideal space would have would be lots and lots of really creative people, really passionate people, really intelligent people, but a huge variety of those type of people that have those qualities, and people that are in that space like all the time, and that are very social and willing to collaborate with each other, and I could help them with stuff. and then they could help me with stuff, and they could just, you know, be a sounding board or provide me with expertise in a certain area, or advice or whatever. And then the last thing is a library, like a university level library. So if I had all of those things in my space, it would be the ideal space. And Noisebridge has all of those things except a library. Okay, it does have a library, but I don't mean it doesn't, certainly doesn't have a university level library. And so right now I'm in San Mateo because of the Maker Faire was here in San Mateo. And so my net actually tomorrow I'm gonna go to Stanford, and I'm gonna go to the library, and I'm gonna try to meet graduate students in anything cognitive related. Oh, yeah, essentially. Like anyone doing stuff in science I'd be interested in, but I'm particularly trying to find anything doing any work in the cognitive space. And so I would like to sort of establish a creative space near Stanford or on the campus of Stanford as an addition to my place at Noisebridge, because if I can't find one creative space that provides all the things I need, then I just have to find different creative spaces where each the combined total of them as a whole would provide me with everything I need. So given that I'm in the Bay Area, I think that the two places for me might be Noisebridge and Stanford. And then I would have a base. I would have a sort of a base in the city, and I would also have a base in the peninsula. By the way, note, here in the Bay Area, they don't call, like, what other people outside of the Bay Area think of as Silicon Valley. They don't call it Silicon Valley. They don't call it the Valley. By the way, people in LA say the Valley all the time, but that's for like San Fernando Valley. Here they say, here in the Bay Area, they call it the peninsula because it is a peninsula. So I'm talking to everything from like Burlingame down to like San Jose. Like that's the peninsula. And that is what the outside world knows as Silicon Valley. But actually, I like just referring to it as the Valley. And maybe it is a valley in a physical sense. Probably is. So I'll just refer to it as the Valley in these videos. So yeah, basically this video was about my thoughts on finding my creative space. So thanks everybody. Ciao.